Start us off, Callum.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Castpod. Today we have some very special guests. We are collaborating with another podcast, which I don't think we've actually done yet, have we?
We've had guest appearances, but I don't think we've
But
had a single collab.
yeah, so this is an interesting first. We have here with us the Disney Desk podcast with Carter and
Ooh,
Sydney.
But Carter's
Hello.
also here, so
hi.
does he get like a grandiose entrance or?
I mean,
No, I don't.
yeah,
No,
well,
but I should, because I've never been here.
exactly. But yeah, I thought we
So
would,
you're all welcome, is what
yeah,
we want to say.
I thought we would at least introduce the
For
fact that
Sydney,
Carter
not
is
for
on
Carter.
multiple
Right.
podcasts. Yeah, but yeah, it's not that important.
I like to think I've referenced Disney Desk before. But yes,
Yeah, yeah,
Sydney's
yeah.
on
Have
today,
in the
everyone.
most recent episode that's out now. Episode number.
But yes, everyone. Sydney, my friend. I was going to say, we always have that catchphrase, Sydney, of sometimes it's the friendships that are the shortest that stand the tallest.
Yeah,
And
Carter and I, backstory time, Carter and I met like the last semester of senior year and then became like instant best friends. And then he wrote in my yearbook, it is sometimes the shortest friendships that stand the tallest.
Wow.
because
And
even
I
then,
was
I was
like,
like a weird
We get it. You
soulful
can
kid.
afford
and
boats.
looking right. Oh, you're going to NYU. Cool. Yeah. Exactly. So
And now I can't pull that card anymore.
we
We've
can't
been
tell
friends
that
for a
story anymore
decade
because but it's still written in my yearbook and it will be there forever as the beginning of our friendship.
Yeah, and on
But I've
origin
actually known the two of
stories,
you. Actually, well, because
God.
Callum, I've known I don't really know Kevin, but Callum, I've known you for a while too, since high school as well. I probably knew you before I even knew Carter. Actually,
yeah, I think so. I think
yeah, I remember eating lunch with you.
I
in
can't remember
East.
when that was. Like maybe
It was like
sophomore year or something.
like around sophomore year or something. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's been a while, and we were in the
right.
same group for prom. Funnily enough, for
We
senior
were
prom. Yeah, when you were with Mike.
Mike Dratch.
hmm
You were
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I was there.
Why who was your date?
Carolyn.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's how we were connected because I was in the music theory group. I was in music theory, so I was friends with a lot of band people. Okay.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
Callum was
Oh
the
my God,
announcer in
yes.
Space Jam.
I was.
Right.
Should have been Bugs Bunny, but it's all right.
Yeah. And what's his name was Michael Jordan.
Elliot.
Mm.
Oh
Yeah,
my God,
Elliot
my
Newton.
ex-boyfriend from 6th grade, Ellie.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about. Oh my.
Oh, your band, Life of a Fly. I love bringing
Life
up
of
things
a
that
Fly.
Carter is
Oh, yeah.
Please,
We're
no,
having
no.
a callback
I-
the
session.
band. Oh my God.
please,
You
I
guys
can't
used
go
to
back to the
play
old
like
me.
Float On and a bunch of other
And then one gig, I literally just forgot how to play it, and Elliot's like, "I don't have time to remind you," so I just stood there like, and it's like a very bass-heavy song, and I'm just like,
Right.
"Well,
Here we
fuck.
are. Oh my God. The band.
oopsie, oopsie." Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get into college for lacrosse right now. My brain is in some different places. God, whose float was I on? I know Jay was on the float because that's how I got on. Because my parents, my mom was outraged that I might not be on a float because Jill was kind of more like blasé about sort of the pomp and circumstance of it all. And I was like, well, it'd be nice to be on a float, but like I don't know anyone who's doing one. I sure as heck ain't building one. I'm assuming you guys have talked about like the whole deal with prom at our school, right?
I don't know.
I think we must have mentioned it at some point. Yeah, that is
Basically,
the biggest
our
prom in
prom,
America.
Right.
Claims to be biggest prom of America. I've only been to that prom, so I don't know. I've never been to other proms.
Right.
Can't confirm.
Entertainment Weekly talked about it once, and
Time
they
magazine.
rode that to the end of time.
But you
Right.
know, so many like we get these like celebrities weirdly enough. Like Carter, you know who Jeannie Davy is. I don't know if any of you know who Jeannie Davy is.
No.
She was a grade above us, but in the video she was in video production with me and Carter. And she got to do
yeah.
an interview with Richard Kind, who was a student at Pennsbury, if you know the actor Richard Kind. He was a student at Pennsbury back in like the 60s and beyond. And she asked him who performed at his prom, and she said B.B. King. I was like, excuse me? Like, so our prom has kind of like maybe always been like a deal
I
that
guess,
these
yeah.
big ass names show up for.
Asher Roth, Rick Ross.
Now's a good time to mention I don't edit these. These just go out raw.
Cool.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
sure. That's fine.
Yeah, I was like, I like that on Disney Desk. We're so careful not to dox ourselves or give away too many.
And today we're
And
like, do you
we
remember
just
this person
roll
and that
it.
person?
Oh, well,
We
yeah.
don't live
And
there
on
anymore.
this
Where do
show,
you
I'm like,
live?
so here's my home address, everyone.
Right.
Here's
You want to send
Oh,
a
social
package
security
that
number?
happens to be
Got it.
ticking?
Joke's on you.
Yeah.
I don't
What are you
even
gonna
know my
steal from
social
me?
security
Oh, my
number.
blood
My health
type
insurance sucks. Good
is
luck.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you guys remember? It was our year 2, or maybe it was the year after, or it was either the year before us or our year, where they were hyping up like they were making all these allusions to Lady Gaga in all of like
That was the
build-up
year
to
above
prom.
us.
I was gonna bring that up, yeah.
Yes,
Fake
Yeah.
Lady
and
Gaga.
they
They
had
had a Lady Gaga impersonator who got booed off the stage.
Did she really? I
And-
don't remember that part.
Yes. This might have been the video production before we started hanging out in Sydney, but me and
Right.
Nick were together because basically, like, our teacher who taught that class made it and gave us the option for independent study, mostly because he looked at like me, Nick, and a few other people and like, oh, you guys just want to make videos and goof around. Like, you guys just
Right.
want to have fun making videos and stuff. Like, this is your thing. And we were like, yep. And he's like, cool, I can make it an independent study. So I got to take it like twice as many times. But anyway, we had to edit that footage because there's so much raw footage from prom. And it was the most uncomfortable I've ever been, where I'm like, this poor woman who did nothing wrong except impersonate Lady Gaga.
Except everything.
Yes, and our high
Except
school
wake up
social
that
media
morning.
team- yeah, wake up that morning when the social media team grossly misled the public on what they were about to experience. I still feel bad. I get residual cringe from that.
You and I need to ask him about, because I like with everything that we've done with the podcast, like I want all of our old like morning announcement footage and our sports night footage. That was like our first time working together.
That was when I was like, is this my
Sportsnet.
best friend? Like,
Yeah.
is this my like lifelong creative
It
partner?
was our first
And I'm
time
like,
working together, and
probably.
it went seamlessly. Us commentating sports night together, and I want all that footage back. It's somewhere, and it's classic
Right?
us.
It has, and because he strikes me as someone who keeps files. There's
Oh,
a
he
lot of
does.
things I want from there.
Oh,
One,
Yeah.
I want the bloopers because I remember one blooper. I did some pun, and you just go Carter.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
there were
yep.
times where I was
Disappointment.
not having it. Yeah,
There was one time where after the announcements ended, I just started doing ham boning, where I'm just like
yeah.
doing all kinds of weird hand stuff. There's also, well, there's a lot of stuff. I found a couple things from them that me and Nick did together that were really fun. But yes, I really want the sports night footage more than anything, because it's just so funny. Because he's like, okay, Carter, I'm gonna let you commentate because you and Sydney are good together. But I need you to understand, like, people are going to be getting this as like a memory of their kids growing up. You can't go off into Carter land. And I
Yeah.
said,
You
I
got
think I
told
did
not to
say
go into
something along the lines
Carterland.
of, yes. I was like, one, I just like Carterland being like that weird. And you guys, like, when we're on Fortnite, like, I'll just go into a weird train of thought where you're like, Carter, what the hell are you talking about? But I was just kind of like, you're choosing this, sir. You know the risks. Like, I
Right.
can't be held responsible for what happens.
Oh God, high school.
Good times.
Yeah.
Speaking of having guests on Castpod before, you know what I
Oh.
just remembered, Callum?
What?
The Castpod citizenship test that we made Tom take.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah, hold on. I need
Would
a
you like
pencil
to-
to write down the questions.
I was gonna
Give-
say, would you like
vamp,
to?
Callum, vamp.
Oh, okay. Well, because we've been going down memory lane, I guess. I mean, obviously, we want people who listen to this to listen to Disney Desk, but you guys want to talk about a little bit how Disney Desk began, and also, I guess, what it is for
Yes.
anyone that doesn't know. But I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory.
Well, Disney Desk is Carter and I talking about Disney. We are really big Disney fans, and we want to talk about it a lot. But actually,
Yeah.
mentioning that teacher that we were just talking about, who put us together that first time, he was the one who suggested, like, the two of you should have a talk show. And he literally said that to us once. And at some point, like, well, when we were in college, we were like, you know what? Yeah. And so we made a talk show because, like, we've said this on the Disney Desk, where it's like the Disney Desk is always happening 24/7. Some of that time we're recording.
Right.
That's pretty much what happened with Castpod, honestly.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I think I was like and maybe this is a bit sappy, but I was like, oh, I realized you were my best friend in college, because I'm like, man, I talked to Sydney like literally every other
All day, every day?
if not every day. Especially after we saw Moana together in the city, because I got access to like an early screening, like the kind of screening they take your phone away so you can't like pirate it.
Oh, they did. Yeah.
And I was just like, shoot, this person really is my best friend, huh? And then, like, yeah, I think you were the one who finally was like, why don't we actually just do a podcast or a talk show or something?
Right. And you remember?
And because we were.
So I was going to say, you remember I remember the first time recording, we went into like this studio at NYU. Remember that?
Oh my God, you're right. Because we had access, because I still had access to everything. So I could just like sign you in. Oh, yeah. Although I will say, well, no, I was going to say post-college, they're very loose about letting people in and out. So I was still using that stuff 2 years after. Now it's tougher because you have to pass all kinds of I think they removed most of the COVID screening tests, but I digress.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. We did we used like actual recording equipment.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. I completely forgot that. Yeah, and it was interesting because I think it came naturally as Disney, because I think a lot of it was we were talking about Moana, and like we're both animation nerds.
Right.
We're like, well, calling it the Disney Desk just kind of gives us a big net that we can kind of cover so much that we want.
Right. It was just one of those things where it's like anytime we saw something, we were talking about it nonstop, and most of it I think probably had to do with Disney. I think we were just both huge Disney fans, and so it's hard, like, it's sort of ambiguous why we chose Disney, but except other than the fact that we are just huge Disney fans, and it comes natural for us to, and you're right, Carter, that we could sort of umbrella it and talk about anything sort of under the entertainment animation umbrella.
What was our first non-Disney topic? We did another tune. We made a different silo called In Other Tunes, and I'm trying to think of what the first one was. Was it Craig of the Creek? Because we talked about Craig of the Creek 2 different times, right?
Like briefly, maybe like before
it was either that or Teen Titans Go.
I think it might have been Teen Titans Go, actually. Yeah. Because we were pumped for Teen Titans Go.
Yes, I like that. I think that, and the fact that I've never seen Avatar, gives me the most side eye from like the Castpod squad, because
100%.
Like, yes, they're big.
You're in an Avatar themed D&D campaign.
Yes, and I don't get most of the references, but I play a character who's not into that stuff. Sydney, so like the premise of Kevin's D&D campaign that we're all in is one of the older avatars has gone missing, like set before the show. Because the idea is like there's an avatar every generation. Once they die, they reincarnate as another
I've
person.
seen Avatar, so
what?
You don't need to explain that to me.
You didn't mention this ever? You know what's funny? I was really into the pilot because they hyped the hell out of the pilot for Avatar. So I'm like, heck yeah, I'm going to watch this. And then I just didn't watch it. I watched the pilot, and that's
Avatar was one of those shows that was just always fucking on. Like, I was never, I'll admit, like, I was never really choosing to watch it. I was just putting it on TV and it was on and I would be there for it. So I've seen a lot of it just through, like, osmosis, honestly.
Which is weird because it's like, I feel like there's a legacy that Nickelodeon kind of like left it to die on the vine, or at least it left Korra to die on the vine. And yet it's still omnipresent.
Korra, what happened with Korra was, it's like you get the first two seasons were regular full-length seasons shown on the channel, and then the last two seasons they're just like, we're going to give you half seasons. And then it's just like, also, it's going to be exclusive to, like, our website. Like, I think the last season was exclusively shown on nick.com.
Ew.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing that every cartoon channel has that sort of franchise that they just completely shove in front of a bus. because well, Cartoon Network has two now because they had Steven Universe where Rebecca Sugar fought forever to get that wedding between Ruby and Sapphire, and then they're like, fine, but you're not getting any more episodes. And then she basically had to beg them to at least be like, can we get like 5 more episodes after that just to wrap the series up? And basically, what would have been an entire season's worth of content, because people complained the ending of Steven Universe was a bit rushed, and it's like, well, it was. That was supposed to be months worth of episodes that they basically had in like a week, in terms of like, oh, Steven's got to go fight the big bad and resolve everything. And now they're doing that with Craig of the Creek, because we haven't really talked about this, Sydney, but they basically announced Craig of the Creek is ending with season 5.
No.
What's it? Discovery cut their show order in half, so now they're just wrapping up the show.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah, say what you want about Disney, but at least they don't, like, for the most part, they're like, well, let's protect our brands, whereas they're, now Warner Brothers and Cartoon Network are like, if we stop showing the Bugs Bunny, we can save 25 quarters.
Right.
I assume that's what Zest Live sounds like. But yeah, the Disney version of that is Owl House, which, because it mostly came out during the pandemic, they could just pretend wasn't successful. And literally, they talk about now, like Dana Terrace, who made it, talks about like, oh yeah, we finally had our first in-person panel last year, and it was packed. People were begging to get in. It was like, if we were allowed to have standing room, we would have had standing room up to the gills. And Disney was like, oh shoot, this actually was really popular. And I was like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah, shy surprise. It actually worked.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like the obsessive internet fandom is also real people who show up for things like real people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to segue a bit, I have some points that I wanted to bring up specifically for this episode, because you may not know, but Kevin and I are also pretty big into Disney. We just don't really get a chance to talk about that much. Yeah, so I thought
How
this was
yourself
convenient.
with the Disney,
a cool crossover.
with the Mickey Mouse ears.
So
I
this
mean,
is why Carter's wrong about the Muppets universe.
Exactly.
Now,
No,
you want
but
to hear that rant? Listen to Disney Desk.
That's right.
Oh yes, so this is a
Wow.
double crossover.
To exemplify that a bit, there was a time in college. I don't remember if Kevin remembers this. I think it was freshman year of college.
Oh dear God.
We went with a group of the people in our hall to a Disney quiz that was being held like by the building RAs or whatever. And so, because most of our hall were women,
Nerds.
because
I remember
we were in
this now.
yeah, because we were in the honors hall, and men are inherently
Hold
dumb.
on.
So there weren't.
You were in the honors hall.
I was in the honors hall.
That had a loft basically going on
Yeah.
to my floor, the not honors hall.
Kevin was in the hall below that just
The
hung out in
dunce
the
hall?
honors hall.
That hung out
yeah.
with the honors, and intentionally possibly try to sabotage honors kids and lower the grades and
As you
make the
should.
curve
Yeah.
lower. And Callum didn't fall for my crap, so it didn't work out
Yeah, it
that
didn't
well.
work. That's all right. But yeah, so they were all like, oh my God, a Disney quiz. Like, we have to go to that. And I was like, I'm not doing anything. Might as well. And so we went over there, and we actually ended up winning it.
Yeah.
And a really funny moment I remember from that was that one of the, it was kind of set up like Jeopardy. One of the questions was like, it would give you sections of lyrics of Disney songs, and you would have to name the song and the movie it came from. And so
Nice.
the one I remember specifically, it was very early on. It was something like, I will protect you from all around you. I will be here. Don't you cry. And they're like, name that song and movie. And I remember sitting there. I wasn't planning on like being involved at
Participating,
all.
yeah.
And I just remember looking around the room, everybody like, oh, what is this? Like I have no idea. And I'm just like, is nobody else going to say it? Like, do I have to do it? I was like, oh, you'll be in my
Callum was
heart from Tarzan.
inconvenienced.
Phil Collins, yeah.
Yeah, and then one of the other RAs
Nobody
was
else knew
running
that?
it. Nobody else got it, and like as soon as I said, everyone was like, "Oh, of course." But one of the RAs running it just looks at me and is like, "I'm going to be honest. Didn't think you were going to be the one to be
No,
running
no,
the show
that's all
today."
right.
And I was like, "Hey, me neither, man." But here I am.
Right.
I actually ruined
I
the
thought-
trivia night the other day.
I thought you were gonna.
Oh.
I love a good trivia night, and we should definitely go.
Sure.
I thought
Yes,
you were gonna
but-
go earlier than that, Callum, and talk about when we were in Costa Rica together. And
Yes.
Oh, I forgot about
obnoxious.
that.
And for context, for those of you playing along at home in Sydney who's probably never heard this story,
Mm-mm.
Callum and I took our high school's trip to Costa Rica, and part of the trip was hanging out with nesting sea turtles and counting eggs and stuff. And this is where the Kevin got slapped by a sea turtle story stems from. And of course, like most of my stories, Callum was there before he moved to Texas and hates me.
What are you gonna do?
And the last night, Callum and I, in both times, intentionally took the very late o'clock shift. It was like, if I recall correctly, there was like one shift that was like 10 to 2 a.m. and then 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. And we took that later shift. And it was like, all right, you two are done, and then you've got about 3 hours before, or we have to like think about leaving for the airport. And I remember I pissed everyone off on that plane, on the really short plane. And I remember there was like the whole night we're just fucking singing Disney songs, more specifically like Phineas and Ferb, and just
pretty much any song that came to our
hammocks, head. Because we were also the only two that did that shift.
Yeah.
So there was
everybody else was asleep.
Everyone else also did everyone else did because there was I think 6 of us at that point.
Yeah.
Everyone else did the morning, like the earlier shift, and then we were just like, nah, screw that, we're doing the late shift. So we'd have like 4 hours of us just hanging out by ourselves
in the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night in a foreign country, and like the chaperone went with the earlier crowd, and we would just be sitting there singing Disney songs.
Mm-hmm. Which is another thing we did. But yeah, and then and on that, because we are maybe more into Disney than we let on, I thought it would be fun to have you both judge our Disney tastes of like our favorite Disney movies, Disney songs, things like that. So,
perfect.
You know,
I'm a catty little bitch. I'm in.
Yeah, I'm ready. I've already been judging you this whole time, so in preparation.
All right. I mean, obviously, how can you not judge me? The entire Disney desk, my shirt was inside out.
Had no idea.
Yeah,
Kevin, would you like to start with your Disney tastes?
Is there like a category? Are we just going?
Wait, is there like a
favorite
scale?
Disney movie?
Are we doing like a
least
scale?
favorite Disney movie?
Out of 10, out of
always out of 7. We support the Joe theory of 1 out of 7 because then there's that middle point.
Okay.
I'll allow it. But yeah, like favorite and least favorite Disney movies. Yeah, no, I don't agree, but Disney shows, Disney anything really.
You know what? Let's make it a little bit more fun. We'll have our guest pick the category, and we'll give our taste. And
there we go.
Our guest and guest adjacent / host. He's got the whole like also starring or with title if we had credits in the beginning.
Yes.
Am I a Disney desk or am I a Castpod? Am I a Castpod?
You know what, Carter? You pick for this.
I meant to make that joke for the Muppet episode. Dang
it.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
That's
why we have
notes
from the host for Patreon.
I was gonna say, if you did an intro, you could say, "Am I a pod or am I a cast?"
Damn it.
You know.
Should have said, "What are we doing?"
Another one. All right, so I'll do the first topic.
Sure.
Favorite Disney song?
Oh.
Wow.
Okay.
It's a broad net there.
Yeah, going for it.
Also, I like this, us not having any preparation, so it's like, we gotta say what's first coming to our mind.
Wait, we have even less
We-
preparation, so we're like,
have no
I don't
time.
know.
Alright.
I would say I can think of 2 off the top of my head. First one would be "I Can Go the Distance" from Hercules,
Quality song.
and then the other one would be "Trashing the Camp" from Tarzan.
Quality one.
I already know what Carter's gonna say, and
I would go with
gonna be wrong about it.
"Be Prepared" from The Lion King as one.
Ooh.
Quality song, deep evil. And then I kind of like the main theme of Brave.
Really?
Brave's underrated in my opinion.
I can agree with that.
All right,
Okay.
So give your take first.
You know, I'm learning so much. Callum, like you and I really have a lot in common because we seem to have similar taste here because I like both of your answers very much.
Thank you.
Am I picking one or the other, or am I just saying like, am I just making an assessment of your answer in general?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Callum
like an
started the game.
assessment.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say just an assessment.
No, I would give you like a 6 out of 7 for those because
Let's go.
those are solid. Like, I wouldn't name those the best of their films, but they
Mhm.
are certainly like the flagship sing along, even the one that has like no words to it.
Yeah.
But
Got to
we
scat with Rosie O'Donnell. I can't
exactly right.
beat that.
NSYNC did it. Um, so
It's true.
and NSYNC did it.
You're not wrong.
NSYNC covered the song, yeah. So 6 out of 10. Wait,
Mhm.
Kevin, say yours again.
I said be prepared
Okay.
from Lion King, and then the main theme of Brave.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you that I think Brave has really good music. I'm actually gonna go slightly lower. Those were even less of, I would just say a 5 out of 7 because I do like both of your songs. Be Prepared is a great moment of that film. Um, but that's just like, I don't think they're bad songs, but they're just not my personal taste, you know?
Just like school, Kevin's slightly below Callum.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, it really is. All of our high school, college, middle school years.
Carter,
Callum,
would you
the
like to
smart
give your
guy,
thoughts?
and dummy Kevin.
All right. So I'm going to give Callum a 4.5.
Oh.
I
How
right
are
in
you
the
giving
middle,
a
okay.
0.5
I
out of
like
7?
I Can Go
Okay,
the Distance.
Carter
I really
hates
do.
trashing the camp.
I know. I remember
What
I
him
did
don't
Rosie
saying.
hate
O'Donnell do to
trashing
you?
the camp. Oh my god!
He doesn't
Why
like the
is this
Tarzan
one of the things I
soundtrack at
get
all.
labeled with? I sure like to
Monster.
talk, and I sure don't like trashing the camp. It's for me, trashing the camp is the one song I kind of like because it's like it annoys me that all of the music is non-diegetic in that movie, where it's just a guy singing over these incredible vistas. I'm like, I don't know. It's antithetical to a Disney musical for me, but like,
It's not a Disney
yeah,
musical.
I think yes. But then why is there music in it? You didn't have to put the
Christ.
music in it. I like Raya doesn't have music, and that I don't. All right, well I digress. Like I don't. It's a solid song in one of my favorite movies, and a song in a movie that makes me weirdly angry. Kevin, I'm gonna give you a 5 due to creativity
Yeah.
for the Brave opening because the opening of Brave, like the first 20 minutes, I do think are underrated. That's when I think it's cooking. It's when we get to like the mother of the bear and like all the antics with the dad where it loses me because I'm like, we talked about Turning Red being like a surprisingly both good mom and dad film, and I'm like,
And
Brave
Brave
is
is
a
not
good
that.
mom film that's getting taken over by a bad dad film. Where it's like, what is this building to? What is this? What's the emotional connection to any of this? I'm having
Right.
fun, but I'm not. I don't feel like I'm really gaining anything from this.
Right.
Fair.
All right.
Fair.
Sydney, next topic.
Okay. Um. Ooh. Okay. What was your favorite? I'm gonna say Disney movie, but like from your formative years, like growing up. What was the movie that you watched all the time?
Lion King.
I knew Kevin was going to go right to Lion King.
I'm
I've
not gonna
always
deny
been
it.
stuck between the two of Hercules and Tarzan. I think those two are the best for me. And then also Aladdin is like a close third behind that. But like Tarzan has some of the best music in my opinion of a Disney film, even though
Yeah.
Carter hates it. And Hercules also, like so many bangers, but also such a great story. Um,
You want a nice little Tarzan fun fact, Callum?
sure.
On the original set of Castpod, and
Mhm.
I'm talking
Your
about
car.
where we recorded, which was in my minivan in front of Callum's house at 3 in the morning. There was
Yes.
always a copy of Tarzan in the glove compartment, I believe, because the minivan, peak 2003 technology, had a DVD player in it.
Hmm.
Oh, you're not talking about the CD. You're talking about.
I'm talking about the DVD.
the movie.
The
actual
film,
movie.
yeah.
Oh dear God.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
A copy
That's
of it
It's
lived in my
always
minivan.
That is
It's always
special.
split for me. I don't know. I can never pick.
I like, well, first of all, The Lion King is like a quintessential like 90s kid choice.
Mhm.
And there's
Mhm.
absolutely nothing wrong with it. And honestly, like I'll give you a full 7 for that one. Um, but I also like like Colin, your answers are a lot more nuanced.
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
but you have like so many. Are those all things that you used to watch all the time? Did you watch a lot of
Oh
Disney?
yeah. I watched a
Okay.
Yeah.
ton of animated stuff growing up. So, like,
Mm,
especially I watched pretty much all of the like classic Disney movies, or I guess 90s Disney movies and 2000s, and then kind of fell off as I got older. Like,
right.
I didn't see Moana immediately when it came out, or Frozen. I still haven't seen Frozen 2.
You'll be fine.
I saw that
Yeah.
with my now wife on like a mini date after work one day, and we were the only two people in that theater.
Mm,
Huh.
It was a quality time.
yeah. Like, I
I would
For
watched
take
like
this
a
by
Moana?
myself. For
Frozen
Frozen
2.
2.
Frozen 2, yeah.
Oh, Frozen 2.
I
Right, right.
loved every second of it. Kristoff having a boy band moment by himself.
I do like that song. I'm not gonna.
Olaf recapping the first movie for those of you who weren't following along at home.
Right.
Hmm. And then
Um,
another thing that when I was younger that I watched a lot of Disney wise were the Disney TV shows
Yeah.
based on the movies, like the Tarzan
Tarzan, yeah,
cartoon,
I
yes.
remember that.
the
Timon and
Hercules
Pumbaa.
cartoon,
I love the Little
Timon and
Mermaid
Pumbaa.
one.
Yeah.
I used to
Hmm.
watch the Little Mermaid one a lot. Yeah.
I like the
Which I feel like
Hercules
never
one.
gets talked about a lot.
No,
Right.
Those
they
Yeah.
kind of
cartoons.
buried it a little bit.
They did.
Hmm.
The
Yeah. But I
Hercules
used to
one
like
is
those.
interesting because it can't be canon with the movie because it establishes
No.
that Hercules and Hades knew each other. But I like that better. I like that they have a like sort of cartoony rivalry throughout their entire
Can we
lives.
get
Uh,
a Disney Desk episode emphasizing those cartoons? Or just the
Hmm.
concept that was the original Toon Disney
it's
Mm.
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
before it
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
became
gap in
Yeah.
my
before it
like.
became
I need
like
to sit
Disney
down and absorb
XD,
those.
the
Yeah.
Right.
the
Toon
latter
Disney. Yeah.
years,
Oh
I
not the
God.
remember
earlier
that.
years.
You know what my favorite iteration of like a film turned show is actually The Emperor's New School.
That's what
Emperor's
I
New
was
School
trying to
was
think of.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Underrated. Yeah, that was
I
a
watched
very
that one a lot.
genuinely
Yes.
funny show.
KUZCO. Cusco, Cusco.
Cusco,
Go, go.
Cusco, go, go.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
one was great. The Aladdin one I really liked.
I wasn't a
Oh
fan of
Um,
the
yeah.
Aladdin one.
and then obviously Lilo and Stitch
The
show
The
series,
where
yes.
they went through all of the
series.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
I
one is the
used
one
to
I actually
have
did watch all the
every
time.
episode, like, or not every episode exactly, but like every alien, excuse me, that came up in that series memorized. I would be able to
Really?
tell you
Yeah.
every single one
Did you
That's
guys play
crazy.
like the online
all the
games
time.
with the
Hmm.
sandwich stacker?
Sandwich
That
Stacker, I was
was my
killer at.
favorite one. I
The Kim
love that
Possible
game.
one was my go-to.
Oh yeah. That one was fun.
Hmm.
I miss those days. Yeah. Okay, wait.
Um,
What do we do now? What were we talking about?
Kevin,
We're just
Kevin,
talking
what
about
are
Disney
yours?
topics.
We've
I went first. I said The Lion King.
he said
Oh,
Lion
yeah,
King.
Lion King.
right. You had the solid answer.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm gonna be
Solid
honest.
answer. You mean
Here's
the
my
right
take.
answer?
I'm not the biggest Lion King.
Rude.
Well, I'm not the biggest Lion King guy of the Renaissance.
How do I kick Carter out of this?
Yeah. I'm gonna just hang up.
Sydney started the chat. I just it loses me when he becomes an adult to the point where when I was like, I memory hold that entire part. So when I was rewatching it as I was getting back into Disney, I'm like, what the hell, man? This movie goes on much longer than I remember. I only remembered up to Hakuna Matata.
you just thought it ended there. You found a new life, and
Yeah,
that's it.
which I realize isn't much of an ending when you say it out loud, but
It's like that show where it's like they have this whole like episode that someone hasn't seen the last 5 minutes of the show. I forget what it was. And it's just, it's like I think they were talking about like I think it was The Simpsons, and it's like Milhouse hasn't seen like, or no, it was the beginning part of Finding Nemo. That was it from The Simpsons.
I
Oh.
don't know.
Milhouse
God,
was
he
like
missed the first
scarred,
5
and
minutes.
he's like, "There's a scene before he gets Nemo up," and Bart's like, "What are you talking about?" And it's like, "No, it was there, man, before the."
Oh my
title
god, I
card."
remember this.
Yeah.
Oh god, I actually have a funny story in that mold. Okay, so the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies were huge for me growing up. Like those were my movies. That was like my first big movie event I would go to. But I forgot when I was a kid for the first one, I had to go to the bathroom relatively early in the movie, and I missed the scene. Like, so for me, it's him like wanting to get the car and then entering the wrestling tournament. I didn't know that whole scene with him and Uncle Ben in the car, where he says the line, "With great power comes great responsibility." Literally, the emotional like thesis scene of the movie, and I didn't know it existed. And then on FX, they have that scene in, and I'm like, "Oh, is this like a bonus scene?" Like, I know they add the extra scenes into Spider-Man 2 when it's on TV. That's like, no, that was always in the movie. You just have object permanence and didn't factor in like, oh, the movie doesn't stop when you have to
Right.
delete cards.
When you close your eyes, yeah.
All right, here's another topic for you. Disney character you want to hang out with?
Ooh.
Okay.
At what capacity?
Which I think we
we're
kind of
just chilling, or we're going on an adventure.
Either
It's
or.
always an adventure, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
That's true.
In the wonderful world of Disney.
Yeah.
Would we be in their universe
Yeah.
to do the adventuring, or would they be
That's a
in
great
real world?
question.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Also, like,
What do you
follow
think,
up, like,
Smithy?
is it if it's them being in our world? Is it just like it's their character in our world? All the talking animal aspects, abilities aspects, things like that. Correct.
It's like Mary Poppins. It's like
Mm-hmm.
live action,
reality.
live action animation.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, like you can jump in between. It's like Timmy Turner, Jimmy Neutron's Power Hour.
All right.
The rules
Okay.
I got
mix and
you.
blend.
Say no
Because I
more.
was like, Tarzan would just kind of be a guy, just with long hair.
He would be a
Like I already hang out
And
with
no
Kevin,
clothes.
so yeah.
No,
Yeah.
he doesn't have a beard. I have a beard. That's like
That's true,
one
that's a big
difference
Okay,
I
difference.
have
but
between
why-
Tarzan. That and he's
why-
jacked.
Why doesn't he have a beard?
That's
Because they
true.
wanted
Or
him
any
to be
body
shaven
hair.
for a Disney movie.
Or any body hair at all?
He should be more hairy.
He should be
He
entirely
should look
hairy.
like me.
Trying to blend
You
in.
should.
Yeah,
with the
you're
mom.
a realistic Tarzan right now.
Very hairy individual. We're actually
Oh,
talking
that's a
on
good question.
like with video chat for once, and you technically can't see my neck because of my beard.
That's
Oh,
true.
God.
I
I was
might
there
not
for
have
a
it.
while during the pandemic because I wasn't shaving, but yeah. So oh yeah, the question. All right, yeah. So like, assume their reality rules can apply.
But it's in like
If-
our world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
that's the case, I would want to hang out with Timon and Pumbaa as a duo, because they're just
That's a good-
hilarious. A hilarious duo to be around, and they can show me all the best bugs. So
Right.
Oh, my
Which is what
answer's
it's all about.
my answer's so much more scummy than Callum's.
Oh no.
I'd hang out front with is it Carleo from Encanto, the shapeshifting guy?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
And we'd
Leo.
commit crimes.
Camilla. Yeah. Oh,
Just
yeah.
Having
Having
good
him
one.
shape
Not an
shift into
identity
bank
theft.
guards, have him shape
Right.
shift into politician. We'd go on a crime spree.
I
That's a
actually
good
love that
point.
answer. That's a great answer, actually. Yeah.
I'm not so ignorant in myself that I would I wouldn't acknowledge that if I had superpowers, committing
crimes?
crimes would be on my
Okay.
list of things. It would be Robin Hood-esque crimes, of course. Steal from the rich, give to the poor. But it would still
Right.
be crimes.
Right.
Obviously, yeah.
Or
See,
just
my
be the
answer
biggest
would be
drug
Robin
lord
Hood.
in the area.
Which I know that's like, well, Robin Hood exists outside of Disney. Oh God, this is my way of crowbarring God of War into it. But there's a bit in God of War where you have to like rescue Freya's brother, and you're like carrying him on his shoulders because he's hurt, and like all this chaos is breaking out, and all your like team members are running around in the foreground, like taking out people or like knocking over like snipe towers. And I'm just like, this is a freaking bit from like a Robin Hood. Like if you just swap out Kratos for Little John, this is like some hijinks. Like this isn't the dark metal like Norse opera. This is like some Robin Hood shit where you're like rescuing Friar Tuck. Okay, Sydney, you got another one for them?
Maybe. This is like maybe this is a thinker. Which Disney character do you think could convince you to join an MLM?
Wait, quick question. What are our ratings on Who's Our Disney Hangout Pal?
Oh, true.
Oh,
I want to know
I would give
how
both
much
of
you
you
support Fry.
Evan for
I think
creativity, Calum for playing the classics.
yeah, you're both 7 on 7s. Those
Good
were
to
great
know.
answers. But yeah,
Um,
okay. If if
Who
the if a
would get
Disney
us?
character would trick you into joining their MLM, who do you think it would be?
hmm.
And what would they be selling?
Oh, and we think of what they're selling. All
Yeah.
right, hold on.
I feel like probably Eugene from Tangled.
Flynn Rider.
Flynn Rider,
That would
yeah.
be a good one.
Points
I
for
don't know
using
why I
his
thought of
his
Eugene,
government
not his
name.
It's
not
government.
his cool name.
Right.
And then I feel like he would probably sell like snake oil-esque hair care products and be like, "Look at this hair. This could be you." And they're
Yeah,
just
look at
like,
my
"Oh
hair.
yeah,"
I
you
use
know.
this stuff. Yeah.
So that
I like that
yeah.
answer.
Mm.
I would go. This is going to be an older take, like older movie.
Oh.
I would go with the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland, and he would be selling me some sort of this is like, this is the drink you want to drink, and
Okay.
it's like
I
it could be a
imagine he's one of
nutrition
those
drink. It could
CBD.
Would
be
you like to buy my tea?
yeah,
Yeah.
it could be a
Mhm.
nutrition drink. It could be a weed
He's selling
drink.
Herbalife.
It could be
Yeah.
something.
Oh,
But I think he would just be so energetic, and he would just give off such a vibe that if he's like, "Drink this," I would be like, "All right, sounds good."
Okay.
I've
See,
done that.
I would
I've
describe
done that
him-
before.
I would describe him as more of like just a drug dealer, and
Yeah.
as opposed to like
well,
Some of the most
again, this
convincing
is like
people.
yeah.
this is such a New York reference, and I apologize for it. But like, especially around the campuses, they would have these trucks that were weed trucks, and they'd be like, "We're selling weed candy,"
Weed
and it's like, I'm like, guys, you understand none of that's real, right? Like maybe it has a little bit of CBD oil in it, but like none of the prescription, like
Yeah.
none of the good stuff. Like you're basically just buying shit candy, right? That smells bad. I think those guys ended up moving into an actual like brick and mortar store, which I'm like, good for you
Good
guys.
for them.
Dreams can
Wow.
happen in this crazy town.
Yeah.
I'm a big Flynn Rider guy. I know that's so basic for me to say, but he's the reason why I want them to like actually make a Tangled Broadway show. They have a musical on the Disney cruises that they add a couple songs to, but like I think it would be fun because like you could basically do the whole musical from his perspective. So he like has asides to the audience and like he sings how he's feeling. Like I don't know. I think that could be a fun like if you want to think outside the box from it and not just do what like the Frozen musical did, where it's like, oh, we're just doing the movie.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun.
Hmm.
Least favorite live action remake.
Oh, wow. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't seen a lot of the live action
haven't
ones
seen them all.
because of how bad they are.
Yeah. I would
Um,
say the one I was most put off by from like seeing the trailer, which I saw the trailer like one time and I was like, "There's no chance I'm seeing this." Was Lady and the Tramp.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that did go to theaters. That was a
forget.
Disney Plus joint.
Yeah, they
I saw
really
the trailer one time and then I'm like, hard pass.
right.
I feel like they're getting away with it more because they're pushing more of them to Disney Plus because they're just like, look, it keeps the brand in, it keeps the algorithm up, like it's fine. I will
think
say I am now panicking about. Well, Calum, do you have one yet?
I think mine would be Mulan, probably. I think like
You hate
That's
strong,
stinker.
powerful women, I understand.
yeah, like
You
yeah,
don't-
empowered women just
Are you
really.
intimidated?
I was so
Yeah.
intimidated. I would prefer
Yeah.
it when men are in charge. You know how it is, but
No,
So
that
I
is a
think-
girl
I
boss.
no, please. I just I really like the original Mulan, and then they just changed so much, and not like in a good way. It's just like I just didn't enjoy it. And then yeah, a lot of the other ones I just didn't see.
Sydney, have you not seen Mulan yet? I remember we talked a lot about
No,
it, but I
because
don't
they
know if you
wanted me to
actually
pay
have
for
seen it
that,
and
and
watched
I
it.
wasn't about it.
Oh yeah. Well, I just waited till they didn't make you pay for it.
By
yeah,
that point, it was
it's-
out of my brain, and I didn't care.
The problem with that movie was it was like three different people they were trying to appease. They were trying to play the hits with the animated movie, which is fine. They also were they're like, we have to make a more quote unquote Chinese version of this for the Chinese
Yeah.
audience, even though they still hated it. Like they still barely played in China, and like no movies are. Avatar 2 isn't doing that well in China, and that made $1 billion in China. The original made $1 billion in China on its own. Like they don't need American movies anymore. They have their own studios, and they're actually pretty cool. But like, so that was a bust, and ended up just making a lot of toxic narrative about how like they filmed in a lot of the areas where the concentration camps are. Like they filmed in like the Northwest Province a lot, where it's like, ooh, and then there was like the actual story the director wanted to tell, which is actually kind of an interesting story about like two different women. I don't know. It's just a mess. You're like, if you squint, you can kind of see an interesting film about like a warrior and a sorceress, like a cool, like sort of feminist, lightly LGBTQ fairy tale, and they just don't do that enough. I will say, I am now sweating that Little Mermaid because a bunch of promo material has leaked from it, including like the little gold books, and you see Flounder and Sebastian, and they just look like regular crabs and regular fish, and I'm like, oh no, they're doing the thing they're gonna. Oh no.
I knew they would, and I was looking forward to that.
All right.
Yeah, the only time the photorealistic thing has worked for any of these is like Beauty and the Beast. Well, except for Beast. Beast looks terrible in that. But like, having all of like the living furniture look like actual furniture, like that works. There's like a cool body horror thing to that. Where it's like, oh no, this is a candle. This is a clock.
Hot take: the Beast was better when he was half Beast as opposed to like becoming a normal dude, because he loses so much gains.
True.
Oh yeah.
We talk about, like, at least in the original Beauty and the Beast, how like he's actually not that good looking.
Yeah.
Like when he turns into a person, like, what's missing here? Like, but there's something missing from your face.
On like the inside, like, and I'm not talking about deep inside, like feelings and heart and what he believes in. I'm talking about like just under the skin and all the muscles.
Like if it was the
I'm
same
glad
size,
you made
but
that caveat, because I'm like, you were mean to me. Like, this guy locked me in a cell and screamed at me, but okay.
Yeah, that happens, but he's buff.
There's actually a deleted scene that explains a lot, where he's like, I actually kind of don't know how to read anymore. Which I'm like,
oh my god, it's
like,
I hate how story.
I hate how the live action one tries to like justify they were like, oh, his dad was so cruel to him, and that's also why we're furniture, because we didn't stand up to him. And I'm like, the fuck is this? Don't cinema sins this shit. Stop it. Put the script down. Do better. Like, I hitting them with a newspaper. Like, get your act together, people. Like, I like the idea that he's like he was a spoiled child king. Like, this is a rant I have about Steven Universe. I know, just like Steven Universe is my like war cry, but like everyone's always like, Steven's mom was so evil. Look at all the stuff she did. And I'm like, she was a child queen. She was raised from the minute she was born to be like, you are a different breed of creature from everyone else. You are designed to be different. Of course, she doesn't make the right decisions because she's been taught to not see other people as people.
All right, here's an argument though for young royalty taking power. Princess Diaries.
Yeah, but she's a commoner, you know?
But yeah, she was raised as a commoner and then got absolute power. And we learned from a previous answer that if I had power or a friend with superpowers, I would instantly go into crimes.
True. Okay. We do have that on record.
But that's because with like your hair, there's a limit to the things you could, like, I don't know, there's paths, like, yes, of course you're going to go into crime. You have a villain beard.
I do.
Yeah, and even Mia Thermopolis had to like flat iron her hair in order to have access to that power.
Me and Mia have a very similar hair. I got very dense curly hair.
Before.
Oh, yeah, Jesus Christ, you're right.
If I straighten my hair, will I look like Anne Hathaway?
There's a chance. Actually, yeah.
And a lot of plastic surgery, but I digress.
You can just say I have to shave my beard, Carter.
And I want to say before we move on for live action stuff, I did enjoy Maleficent. I thought that was a good live action Disney movie.
My favorite part about me seeing Maleficent was the first time I saw it, they were doing a showing in college of it. And I forget what happened, but something happened. And everyone was quiet except for one person that we knew, who just went, "Oh no." And then I lost it.
That's my favorite.
The rest of the movie.
That's my favorite meme from Force Awakens. The opening line is Luke Skywalker has vanished, and someone just goes, "Vanished."
All right. I think we
Yeah,
got time for.
Maleficent.
I think we got time for one more question before we wrap things up, and we
Sure.
lightning round the Castpod citizenship quiz.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
Let's go back to that.
All right, hit it.
No, we got one more question. That's what I said.
Oh, yeah,
Time for
Sydney.
one.
What do you got?
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh,
why
you
not?
asked about the live action. I don't friggin' know. Okay, let's talk about Disney Channel.
Mm.
Favorite anything from Disney Channel?
Phineas
Oh.
and Ferb.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that if there's, and I've, well, hold on. I'm gonna stick with Phineas and Ferb because I think if there's anything that like me and my wife every summer we start rewatching Phineas and Ferb.
Really?
We do every summer, and it's got surprisingly more episodes than I remember, and a lot of episodes that I don't remember. But it's such top tier quality like jokes. It's written for the kids. It's written for the adults in the room. Like for example, they're in the one episode. I think it's where it's like they're trying to convince Candace to do something with one of their grandfathers, and he's in the scene. Candace comes up to Phineas Ferb and their grandfather's eating a donut, and she just goes, "Eat too, Grandpa," and he's just like, "Well, this is my first one, and I haven't had breakfast yet." And it continues, and it's just like hot joke, and then Get Out. They got the quality songs, but I will give an honorable mentions to two shows. Owl House quality content. My boy Hootie. I've got a skink named after King, and Gravity Falls.
Oh, yeah.
Gravity Falls is a great one.
Yeah.
Phineas and Ferb has like my favorite fun fact probably ever about like a Disney thing, and it's that they started drawing that in 1996.
Really?
Which is like, can you believe that? Yeah, they started
That's
drawing.
how long these things gestate.
Right.
And I was gonna say,
I mean, like, I think it's that alone speaks to the quality of Phineas and Ferb. That kind of sets it apart from a lot of other of the Disney Channel animated shows, at least.
and meanwhile, Owl House is the one I can't decide what Disney Channel show I want to force you to watch for Sydney's never seen. And I keep leaning toward Owl House because I have a whole take about how it's kind of one of the best depictions of like how a fascist government takes over in terms of kids media. Like there's a lot of stuff in it where I'm like, oh, this actually depicts like, oh, this is how like an authoritarian takes over a world. Also, it's just good. It's
Right.
fun.
It's good, yeah.
Yeah, I have too many. I don't want to. I could go for an hour, but we're already in deep, and I want to hear Callum's.
Yeah, I want to say Phineas and Ferb also because I too loved watching Phineas and Ferb. I used to watch it in the morning before going to school with my dad, and he would just kind of sit there and like, he's an old man. He's just kind of absorbing the child, of, like, the children's shows, and just like, but he would get into it. He would start getting into like the songs and the jokes and stuff, which was fun. But I feel like I actually kind of want to say Kim Possible because I have
Excellent choice.
a lot of memories of when I would go home from elementary school, like sprinting after I got off the bus to get home because Kim Possible started at 4 p.m. and I got off the bus at like 3:59, and I like had to go and watch Kim Possible.
See
But
what
like,
happened.
I mean, there are so many good shows, like a sleeper hit of Disney shows, Dave the Barbarian.
Yeah,
It was
I
one of my
remember
favorites.
that.
Out of some string, a squirrel,
A squirrel and a megaphone.
That's something that Cal and I regularly quote.
That's one of my favorite jokes. But to say a non-cartoon thing, also a Disney show, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody was another go-to I watched every single
I
day.
thought you were gonna go with Wizards of Waverly Place.
I did like Wizards of Waverly Place, but I absolutely watched every episode of Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and even Sweet Life on Deck. I stuck around for it.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Honestly,
Well, that's-
On Deck is when I dropped off.
It's not the same. It's really
the
not.
same. It's definitely different.
Well, Disney Disney had really strict rules about how many seasons it would let of any of its shows. And
Like
Sweet
3,
Lake was so
right?
successful, they're like, and they're like, we have to do a spinoff. We can't stop this
Yeah.
money train.
Also,
Mhm.
couldn't sleep on Girl Meets World. Loved that. Loved Boy Meets World growing up, and I feel like Girl Meets World was a successful successor. It wasn't as good as the original, but I don't think it was. I wouldn't consider it a failure of a show.
That's interesting.
Good choice. Good choice.
All right, you two ready for the Castpod citizenship quiz?
I don't know.
Jeez.
What does it even mean?
It's if you can be a Castpod citizen, and
Oh,
honestly, I
okay.
think from this point on, any wrong answers that I don't know the answer to, I will consider right for lore reasons, despite possibly being returned. And from this point on, as the citizenship quiz maker, always in the moment, Carter has to always answer on them as well. And the second, if
Oh.
Carter
God.
misses a question, he has a 1 episode ban. 1 episode.
Wow.
Just kick him off the show. Just
One
straight up
episode
kick him off.
I consider,
Okay.
I
Wait.
consider it a total, but I like Carter explains football a little too much.
That's fair.
Has he taken this test before?
No,
No.
Okay.
the questions
Okay.
change almost every single time. Almost all the
Okay.
questions change because what happens is I remember it, and then I just don't remember any aspect outside of I called it the Castpod citizenship test,
Right.
and I make up the questions on the spot, with
Gotcha.
the exception of a couple obvious ones.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
I got them on sticky notes. I write it on whatever I have nearby.
Gotcha.
Like for Tom, I wrote it on
Alright.
just a random cardboard box. All right. In what year was Castpod created?
That's tough.
2015.
2022.
2016. Fun fact. That's the first episode.
Oh,
2016.
you guys been doing this that long?
Not consistently. Far
Not
from
consistently.
it. We had like a 1 season thing, and then we borderline retired it, and then we brought it back for literally the one joke of Castpod Dickety Dickety, which is another Simpsons reference, and then
Okay.
it goes through rebirths like new iPhones are released.
Copy that. Okay.
Pretty much.
All right. How many videos do we have posted on this channel?
Oh, God, I have no idea.
I have the
45.
I have the window popped up on my screen.
I'm actually really curious.
I'm gonna say like 27.
61.
That's a lot.
Wow.
I
I
would
need
have never
to.
guessed that's how many.
That's crazy.
How many for more of a fun fact, the actual amount of episodes of Castpod itself, like just the plain podcast, not like Castpod ranks or someone explains something. There is 35. So a little over
Wow.
50%
Wow.
is just other shenanigans that we film.
Okay.
Have we ever repeated a topic?
Probably.
Yes.
All right, sounds good. I don't know the answer to that one.
I was gonna say absolutely. I'm sure we did.
Follow up, and this is one of the questions: should we?
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, we made a whole
If
like
you-
micro thing in our Patreon to go back to topics.
Right. If you've been at this on and off since 2016, then I would say yes. There
Alright.
probably are some things you
Sounds
should go back on.
I think so. Yeah.
Who is your favorite host? And there is only one right answer.
Oh wow.
Bean, when she occasionally jumps up on your
All
computer.
right, hold on. That's it. All right,
There's two right
answers. Yeah,
Oh. So far, I'm gonna say Callum.
that's the correct answer. It is Callum.
Woo! I
Alright.
did
I
it.
took the diplomatic answer for my career.
No, the correct answer was Callum all the time.
Thank you.
Got it.
He wouldn't commit crimes with a teenager from Encanto.
No. Yeah.
That's true.
Chick-fil-A or Popeyes? This is a debate I've
Like
been having
in terms of Like, are you saying this from a criminal perspective,
No.
or?
If you had to eat like a meal from only one and abandon the other restaurant.
Popeyes, and not even just because of the politics of it. I prefer my chicken crispier. I don't like that Chick-fil-A doesn't have the crisp.
I resent for political reasons that my answer is Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm.
And they're putting crack in their chicken nuggets, and I'm buying it.
Yeah, I mean their food's just good. I can't.
It
deny
is really
that.
good.
Popeyes
Their dipping
has-
sauce.
Crack is spelled MSG, but
Yeah.
All right. If you could have anyone for dinner, who would it be?
I'm assuming you mean over.
Could you
no,
clarify?
The question is, if you could
If you
have
if you could
anyone
eat-
for dinner,
If
who
you
would it
could
be?
have someone to kill and eat for dinner, who would it be?
Does it have to be a
Orson
Disney
Welles,
character?
Because
Doesn't
that
have
French
to be.
champagne,
Oh, freaking now.
Open
soaking in
bar,
fresh champagne.
if that helps.
Oh.
And the opener, the appetizer, is going to be a nice salad
Oh.
Oh.
that Callum won't eat, and I'll probably eat
I was gonna
his.
say I don't like salad, but all right, sure.
So who would you have?
Again,
for
how do you survive, Cal?
Let me be
I'm
me.
shocked you've been
Okay,
able to cook this much.
let me live.
Carter, what's your answer?
I want to say Josh Allen, but I feel like
Oh my
he very much strikes
God.
me as head empty football,
boy.
no thoughts football. He feels,
No,
Joshy,
he
as I
doesn't.
call him.
I totally forgot about football players, which is like half my identity now.
You can have
Um,
anyone for dinner.
Oh my God, I have to say Josh Allen
Ah,
because I love Josh Allen. Has Carter told you about my
Yeah, your
list of football
new-
players that I have a crush on, and that I'm obsessed with Josh Allen? Yeah, so it would be Josh Allen. Final
All
answer.
right. Interesting choice. Very muscular, probably low fat, and Callum called it out immediately. It is who you would eat, you cannibals.
I knew it.
I had the
no,
same
'cause then I
answer.
would say Orson Welles, because again, like the man drinks a lot of French champagne. I
The
imagine
French.
it tastes. Or Poco Rosso. He's a man.
I
It counts.
maintain the
That's a
answer
pig.
Josh Allen for.
Solid answer.
Yeah.
All right, and then the final question: is it bigger than a bread box?
Oh,
Yes,
absolutely.
it's always.
I want from
Without question.
I want from the for the audio listeners, because we only do audio. Callum instantly breaking to make sense.
I
Like
hate
he
that.
couldn't even look at his own webcam.
And me and
Oh
Sydney
my
not
God.
hesitating.
Right, we knew the answer to
Yeah, that's probably the right answer. And that's
Right.
the last question. So there's only one.
Are we
thing-
citizens?
I would
Did
say
they
so.
pass?
I would say
Woo!
Wow.
passing
Woo!
grades at least a
I'm
50%.
doing a lot of content.
And honestly, some of these questions seemed like opinions to me.
Yeah, they were.
Says the person writing them. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, the questions actually like that were about you and the podcast we did not get right, but who
Mhm.
cares?
Yeah. I have to look up our own lore. I can't even. No.
There you go.
All right. Callum, send us home.
All right. Well, I'm actually going to pass this on to Carter as the bridge between worlds to sign us off for the day.
Oh yes, I am the bridge to Terabithia. Don't worry, everyone.
Ew.
You're going up into a magical, incredible world, or
Don't
you're drowning.
ever
in flesh
mention
all
that
over.
film.
2023.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a reason why I drank so much coffee, because I'm a closer. That reference is a film reference. But yes, thank you all for listening. We're, me and Sydney, we do the Disney Desk, the most magical podcast in the world. Look up the Disney Desk. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram. We have a spot
Disney
we're on
Desk.
at Disney Desk. Yes, we're on Spotify. We're on Google
Everywhere.
Play.
We're in your
on-
dreams.
Yes.
We're in your mind.
Yes. Yes,
We're
much like Disney, we're taking over the algorithm. We're going to be the only thing you see. We're
We're
the last
somewhere
thing
in
you
your
see as you go
house.
on to the next world. Yeah, we're in your
Yeah.
house.
we are your
You
sleep
looked around,
paralysis
didn't you?
demon.
Yes, you looked behind you, didn't you? You looked the wrong way. I was
Yeah.
behind you the whole time. Thank you guys. This was a really fun episode, and we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep making episodes. 1,000 years, Empire of Podcasts.
Woo.
I'm now the kangaroo rat or mouse king. Yeah. See you tomorrow. Woo. This is my second time doing that. You think I'd remember what to say?